Hi everyone, my name is Mare, Sin City _ cross stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram. Welcome to my Flosstube number 15. Today is Saturday, January 4th, and today I'm going to do a end of 2024 WIP parade. So I'm going to share all of my WIPs that I will be carrying with me into 2025. So just a couple of stats, because I am an accountant and I love numbers and spreadsheets and all of that. I started 64 things in 2024. I finished 52 of those 64. Actually, 11 of those 52 that I finished were 2022 and 2023 WIPs. And then I fully finished, so fully finished object, FFO, is when you have your finished cross stitch piece and you finish it into something, like you frame it, you make it into a pillow, flat fold, any of those sorts of things. So I FFO'd 40 of the things that of my 2024 finishes. So right now I have approximately 40-ish WIPs. Some of the WIPs are not on my WIP list, and I will explain that as we get to them. But I like to go in chronological order. Sorry, I need to slow down. I'm going really fast because I'm filming this on my lunch break. I've been meaning to film for maybe a week, but just life and work haven't had time. So I just need to slow down. I think this video will probably be an hour and a half. I did a mid-year WIP parade back in May, and I think that was close to an hour and a half. And I have maybe a few more WIPs than I did last time. I'm not sure exactly how many WIPs I had at that point. I think it was in the 30s. So I do have around 40 WIPs now, and I like to go in chronological order. So I will start with my oldest WIP, and this is, I think I started this one in the 90s. The manufacturer date, the copyright date, this is 1983. So I would have been 12, and I was not stitching. I don't think I was stitching then. I think I started in the early 90s, but I'm not 100% sure. It'd be so nice if I could just ask Siri, like, take me back to the day when I started stitching this so I know exactly when I started it. But this is the pattern. It's a kit, Designs for the Needle. It originally came from Walmart, but I don't know where I bought it, when I bought it, or if it was gifted to me. I don't know anything about it. I really wish I could remember. But I'm stitching this one on the kit, the black Ada 14 count, with all of the kit floss, and I'm so close to being done. I have not touched this since I shared it in my mid-year WIP parade, but I just have some back stitching, there's like back stitched words all around the heart, and there's a bunch of French knots for snow. And that might be why I stopped stitching this one when I was so close to being done, because I was not good at French knots. And I used to work with a girl who also cross-stitched, and anytime I had French knots, I would always bring her my projects, and she would do the French knots for me. So I think maybe it was just a bit daunting and intimidating because there are so many French knots on there, and I was really nervous about doing them. So that could be why I put this away and never finished it. But I think I'm a little better with French knots now. I could possibly do beads instead, but we'll see. But I definitely want to get this one done this year. I mean, there's no reason why it should not be lingering this long. Definitely want to get it done this year. So that is my the oldest known WIP that I have. And then my next one is from 2021. This is the only WIP I believe the only WIP I have left from 2021. It's in this bag that I made. And I got the pattern from Etsy. It's called Believe in the Magic of Christmas, and it's from Luba Davies Adelaire. I just have a black and white copy, but this is what it's going to look like. The called for colors, I believe, were a red and a blue. No, a royal blue. 820 is the called for. So I guess the called for was just to do the entire pattern in one color. But I decided to choose my own colors. And I am using two different sulky colors, the blended colors. And this is a 14 count store-bought Aida that has, you can see the sparkle in it. So I have not touched this one in a couple of years. I think because of the colors, they're not really how I decorate for Christmas, so I wasn't sure if I was going to finish it or not. I had been considering just putting Believe in the Magic and stopping there and not putting in the word Christmas at all. But I think that I'm going to make this into a project bag. So I am going to at least stitch the word magic, and then I'll see how I'm enjoying it, and if I'm not enjoying it anymore, I will just stop there, make it into a project bag. If I'm still enjoying it, then I will stitch the word Christmas also, and still probably make it into a project bag. But it's a lot of stitching. I mean, that word believe had a lot of stitching, and Christmas is almost as big as the word believe, so we'll see. I think I definitely am going to work on this one this year. Part of my goal this year is to touch every single one of my WIPs, because as we go through, you'll see that there are quite a few older WIPs that I have not touched at all this year, and there might even be some that I haven't touched in probably 2 years. So I definitely want to I have about 15 old WIPs from 2022 and 2023, and I definitely want to get those done this year, so that going into 2025 I only have WIPs from 24 and 25. So this one is not on my WIP list, but I am going to put it back on my WIP list as a reminder to me to get going on this series. So I don't have a couple of the patterns. I think I put them away somewhere, but this is a Lighthouse series. It's a monthly Lighthouse series by Stony Creek, and I have stitched December and I stitched February. I have January still left to stitch, and then I have all the other months I don't have the patterns for yet, but I do eventually want to purchase them. The issue with these patterns is all of them come with these magnets, so you can get this magnetic board, and you can see that they frayed the edges. If you had seen my last Flosstube video, I shared like how to do that, but they frayed the edges, and then these are magnets, and they just slapped them on this magnetic board, and then you switch it out every month. You can see it's like kind of like a little easel. The only issue is for 2 magnets, you can find them on the Stony Creek website, but 2 magnets cost like $13–14, and each pattern calls for 2 magnets. So that's 12 months times $13, you know, it's well over $100 just for the little magnets. So I think that's why I was kind of hesitant on finishing all of these. I haven't stitched, it's been a couple of years since I've stitched any of them. So I think I came up with a solution. I purchased one of those calendar boxes from Paisley and Polka Dots, and I'm going to just finish them as a flat fold. And I purchased a couple of buttons from Etsy. I'm going to see if those work. They haven't come in yet, but I want to see if those will work on these. And I will just put the buttons on it and finish it in that little perpetual calendar on flat folds, and then just switch them out every month. But before I move forward with that, I'm gonna wait and get the buttons and then see how that works out. I'm hoping that the buttons are not going to be too tiny. Okay, my next one is this. Now we're into 2022. So the next one is modern folk embroidery. One can't be angry when one looks at a penguin. It's called Ruskin's Penguins. It's so cute, but this was my New Year, New Start in 2023, and I didn't touch it at all this year. I don't even know if I touched it last year, but I've barely got anything done. So this is definitely one that I want to focus on this year and hopefully get it done. I mean, it's not a lot of stitching. The border is a lot, but other than that, it's not that bad. So I don't know why I haven't pulled it out. It is really, really cute pattern, and I do want to get it done. This is another bag that I made several years ago. And the lighthouses are in this bag that I made, again, several years ago. I make most of my bags I make with Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, her tutorial. And this Ruskin's Penguins, I'm actually stitching this on a 32 count country mocha. So I have about 4 baskets of WIPs. So each one has approximately 10-ish WIPs in it. So what I'm going to do is after I get through the 10, I'm going to pause, put everything away, and move on to the next bin. Yeah, Ruskin's Penguins is on 32 count vintage country mocha. So my next WIP from 2022, this one I started on April 17th. It is Language of Flowers Spring by the Blue Flower. Very pretty daffodils. And the saying says, "The sun shines when I'm with you." I am stitching this on a 16 count Bestitch Me fabric in the color Lunar. And this one I wasn't sure if I was going to finish it or not, because I am stitching it 1 strand on the 16 count. The 2 strands were just too tight, so I decided to do the 1 strand, and it is pretty sparse. It's not very vibrant, but so I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on with it, but I think I'm going to. I am, and I mean, I'm halfway, so I'll just continue on with it, and it's just going to be, it'll be very prim, very light colored, and I have that in that plastic bag. I'm behind on my bag making. I need to make more bags. This one, here's the bag that I made. And this one is another modern folk embroidery pattern. It's called the Pride Sal. Actually, it's called Move Forward in Love. Pride Sal. And I started this one. Did I say I'm on 2023? I'm on 2022. I started this one June 16th, and I really only take it out every year in June. So I'm not too far on it, but this is on a 16 count Bestitch Me cinnamon, and I am stitching it with sulkies. So this is as far as I've gotten. I'm not even halfway yet. but I'm picking all of my own colors. I just picked a bunch of sulkies to stitch it with because it is 16 count, and like I said with the previous one, 2 strands of DMC is too tight. 1 strand is not enough. So the sulky is just perfect for it. So I do, again, want to get that one done this year. This one is one of my absolute favorites. I made this bag. It's so cute. I love the wintry village scenes. This one is from a not a Just Cross Stitch, a World of Cross Stitching magazine. I believe it was the winter of 2021 that this came out. And this is the pattern. It's called Miniature Marvels by Jenny Van de Wiel. I am stitching this one on, it's a 28 count white even weave by MCG Textiles, and I rip dyed this one myself, and I was really happy with how it came out. But I really, really, really love this WIP so much. I really need to get back to it. It's a lot of fun to stitch. If you watch Carolyn Zook, Zook Stitch, she also stitched this one and she's finished it. She started after me and she finished way before me. But she had hers framed and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I will definitely be focusing on this one. I am doing WIP Go this year, and on my WIP Go board I put several blocks I put to stitch on pre-2024 WIPs. So whenever those calls are made, I will pull one of these out so I can make some progress on them. This next one is called Cinnamon Stars. This is actually in a Garon Totten bag. I chose the New Hampshire one just because my sister lives in New Hampshire and I'm from New England, and I just loved all of the, you know, the covered bridges and the maple syrup and the leaves, and I just thought it was really pretty. So this one I started as, it was a stitch along. This is by Plum Street Samplers, Cinnamon Stars, and I started it on November 1st of 2022, and I'm stitching it on a 32 count Zweigart Belfast linen in the color Summer Khaki, and it came in this packaging, so really, really, really old fabric. And I don't know where my pattern is. Oh, here it is. Cinnamon Stars. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's a very popular one. So I did not have, there's a huge list of floss colors on the back. I didn't have any of those, and I didn't want to invest in the overdyed flosses, so I'm using mostly the DMC conversion, and where there isn't a DMC conversion, well, I guess they all have DMC conversions, but for some of them I am doing a blended because I really liked how the variegation looked in the house, so I decided to do just some random colors here and there on the house, but that's as far as I've gotten. Not very far at all. I really need to get back to this one. And excuse me, I think this is the first time I ever stitched on linen, possibly, or close to it anyway. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry. I'm going to move this down here, shaking the table. Okay, my next one is Autumn Alphabet. This is in another bag that I made. This one is by Willow Tree Samplings, and here's what the pattern looks like. I love this pattern. I love the color of the pumpkins, but when I looked up the called for colors, it didn't look anything like that. So I am just sort of making it up as I go. And this is as far as I've gotten. So this is on a fabric that I dyed myself. It is I don't even know what count it is. I don't have that written down. I started this on September 9th, 2022. And I think I ran into an issue with the colors. The colors that I chose, I just wasn't happy with it, and I was really struggling with trying to find the right colors that match this pumpkin. So I kind of put it aside. Also, I'm not crazy about stitching. I believe this is an 18 count, and I hand dyed it myself, and it shrunk, so it is pretty tight. And I think I was struggling with stitching the 2/2 or 2/1 on this. So I think that's part of why I haven't really finished it. I was debating whether I wanted to start it over, but I am going to pull it out this year and make a decision as to what I'm going to do with it. I really, really liked that fabric that I dyed. And I remember my husband making some comment about it looking like a dirty dish rag or something. My next one is called Swiss Sampler, and it was from a book. Actually, I might have it down here. I had never done a red sampler before, so I just found this pattern in a book and thought, well, I'll just give it a try before I delve into something really huge, you know. And let's see, well, I'm not going to be able to find it too easily here. I don't know, but it's in this book. This is a really awesome book. If you can ever find this on the secondhand market, I picked this up at a thrift store. And this is the sampler. This is as far as I've gotten. I don't know if I even touched this year. If I did, it was probably only for one day. But I'm stitching this one on a 25 count mystery fabric that I tea-dyed myself. I think I might have put this one in the oven too, because you could see the edges are all kind of burnt. It's kind of like burnt paper or something. No, I had that upside down. I'm stitching this one with some NPIs. Actually, it's just one NPI in the color Pumpkin Range. So it's my first time stitching with NPI silks, and I really, really enjoy that. And this is in a Patchwork and Poppies bag. I believe this was one that came from when I was in her monthly project bag of the month club. This next one is in a bag that I made. This is called Mini Bouquets. This was a free stitch along from Jeanette Douglas, and I don't have a cover photo of it. I mean, they're all individuals because I printed them off when they were free. I think she has since released it as a one whole pattern that you can purchase. But for example, this is what they look like. There's one for every month. They're very small, And again, this pattern calls for a ton of hand-dyed flosses that I did not want to invest in at the time. So I'm stitching it on a 16 count Peanut by Stitch Me, and I just decided to pull my own colors. I'm using Sulky and just trying to match them up to the called for overdyes as best as possible. So I have January and February done. And then I started down there at the bottom, I started putting in like a border because I was going to stitch this all on one piece. But I have not touched it in several years. These are some of the Sulkies that I have pulled. I haven't touched it in several years, I think, because just choosing my own colors on the fly like that is not, it's not my favorite thing to do. I am not the best with color, and so it is a little challenging for me. The next one I have is, what is this one? Bittersweet Trio. So this is the last one in 2022. And I have shown this recently in one of my recent floss tubes because I have worked on it. But this is Bittersweet Trio by Waxing Moon Designs. And I finished the Fox a few months ago. And I still have to stitch the other two. But this is on a store-bought 14 count Aida, and it was, I think it's like a DMC, or yeah, DMC Charles Craft. It's a printed Aida that I purchased from Michael's. Actually, there's one more in this bin, and this is one that is not on my WIP list. I started this in 2022, and there are 4 patterns in this one booklet, and every year I stitch one. So I did the sheep in 2021. I did I believe it was a strawberry in I did this in 2022, 2023, 2024, and then I'm going to stitch this one in 2025. Last year, Allison of Mrs. AZ Family Zoo, and Sarah of Sarah's Stitchery, they started a stitch along, and I joined in when I stitched the radish car. So I'm hoping that they do a stitch along again this year. I think it was called Bunny Parade style, something like that. So I'm hoping that they host another stitch along, and then I mean, either way, I'm still going to stitch that last bunny this year. And then Lila Studios came out with a freebie last year also that I'd like to stitch. So it's not on my WIP list because it is one pattern, but it's 4 different designs. So I would start one and then finish it and take it off my WIP list. And then the next year I would start one, finish it, take it off the WIP list. But it's still technically a WIP because I have one more left in that pattern to do. And this is in a bag that I made with all the cute bunnies. So that is the first bin of WIPs. I'm going to pause and go grab the next bin. Okay, my next one, now we're into 2023. My next one is called 6 Snowbells, and this is by Lizzie Kate. And I have shown this one recently because I stitched this middle pattern. So I only have one. It's a series, and there are about 6 patterns that you purchase, and then like this border here and the tree in the middle are freebies on her blog. So I am almost done with this. This is on a printed Aida 14 count, and this is the last chart that I have to do in that bottom. So I'm definitely going to get this one done this year. This was also, I started this one in 2023, but in 2024, Allison and from Mrs. AZ Family Zoo and the two tall stitchers, Jen and Carol, they had started a stitch along. It's called the Z Kate series cell. So it kind of encouraged me to pull it back out and get working on it last year. So I worked on that a few times last year and used that hashtag. They've all finished theirs that they had started last year. I think they're all going to start a new one again this year. So the sale is continuous. The next one I started is another one of my absolute favorites. This one is oh no, sorry, it's wrong. It's in the wrong order. Well, okay, I'm just going to show this one because I have two WIPs in one bag, and it was in a bag that from another WIP that I recently showed you, and it's over there, so I'll get it later. Summer Quaker by Lila Studios. I started this. This was my birthday start in 2023, and this is definitely going to be a focus in next year. This is as far as I've gotten. I really love this. I love the colors, and I'm a sucker for Lighthouse. So this is being stitched on a 20 count. Let's see, it's a 20 count Malt of the Earth by Live and Die LA. And I am using all of the called for flosses. And this is in another bag by Patchwork and Poppies from her. It was a couple of years ago when I was in her Bag of the Month club. So pretty. And then this was the Snow Bells is in this one. Another Patchwork and Poppies bag. You'll see a lot of those in 2023 because I think that's when I was in her bag club and I used them for a lot of projects that year. This is just a little bag I got from Michael's, I think. This is Celtic Santa, the Scotland Santa. So I started this one this one was June 23rd, 2023, and I started this while we were in Scotland that year. I didn't get very far with it though. This is as far as I've gotten. So it's not a huge pattern. I really need to just get back to it. These are all the flosses. I mean, it shouldn't take me more than a couple of days, I would think. So I definitely need to make this a priority next year, or this year, in 2025. My next one this was a gift to me from my friend Carla. This one is in a bag that I bought from Allison at Mrs. AZ Family Zoo. She's got a lot of bags in her shop. I encourage you to go check her out. Any sale in her shop goes to help. It helps her. They have an animal sanctuary, and any proceeds that she makes from things that she sells in her shop, the proceeds go to help the animals, like food and vet bills and all of that. And she has a lot of bags. She designs, so she's got cross stitch patterns, jewelry, quilts, pot holders. Oh, she's got a lot of stuff in there, so I'll go check it out. This is Counting Puddles, Topsy Turvy Tea, and this, like I said, was a gift to me from my friend Carla, and she also sent the called for silks, which are Treenway silks. And these are the colors. Very pretty, very spring-like. And she also sent a piece of the called for fabric, which is a 28 count Well, actually, it called for is French country purple linen, but I think she ended up getting 30 count grape. Is it grape lace or grape Lee from Stitcher's Paradise when we were there during the Stitch Shenanigans retreat. And this is as far as I've gotten. This one is one that it's hard for me because I'm not normally a linen stitcher, and so it's hard for me to see the holes. So the only time I really can stitch on it is when I'm outside. So I definitely need to pick this one up soon before it gets too hot out. I don't know if I mentioned, but well, I live in Henderson, Nevada, but I always tell, it's in the Las Vegas Valley, but I always tell people I live in Las Vegas because not everybody knows where Henderson is, but everybody knows Las Vegas, right? The next one, this one is not on my WIP list, but I did start this one in 2023. It was a stitch along. I don't have a cover photo because they were all PDFs that were emailed to me, but this is from Lola Crow Cross Stitch, and it was they were Christmas ornaments. It was like one was released every week, and I was able to get 3 of them done. I think there's 6 total. Let's see. Okay. Oh, well, I do have, so it's called Creepy Christmas Village Sal. And there are 6 ornaments, I believe. So I have them all printed out. I just haven't stitched all of them yet. It was not on my WIP list because, again, this is one where I was like, I would start one, finish it, take it off the WIP list. Start one, finish one, take it off the WIP list. And because I've got 3 finished, I took the whole thing off my WIP list. But I need to put it back on the WIP list so that I can, as kind of a reminder to myself that I really need to stitch the other 3 of those. And this is in a bag that I got from on Etsy from Ragtag Quilts. Very cute bag with a handle. Okay, so that is it for my 2023 WIPs. So I really only have like 6 WIPs from 2023. Oh, there was that one that I didn't show you. I will grab that one. I have a few more WIPs in this basket, and then I will go back and grab that other one. So this was my New Year, New Start in 2024. I started this with the previous owners of the Black Cat Stitchery Shop in Illinois. They hosted a stitch along on Facebook. I forgot the name of the stitch along. I think maybe it was like Autumn is a Joyful Stitch Along. I'm not quite sure. But here's the pattern. And what they had done for us is they broke it all out into sections. So we were to stitch 1 section a month in 2024. And I did really, really well keeping up with it until September. And then I just wanted to stitch all of the like Halloween patterns. So I kind of stalled on this, and I haven't touched it probably since the very beginning of October, I think. So I'm still on the September section, but I do have a lot done. I have September, October, November, December sections. So October is the October section was the entire center of the acorn, which is a huge section. But normally each section would take me like 5 days a month. So this is definite focus in 2025. If you watched my Flosstube 413, I think, I went over a lot of my plans for 2025. One of them being, it's called I called it 5x5 in 2025. So I'm going to spend 5 days a month on the autumn Quaker and like and the summer Quaker. So like 1 month I might work on the autumn one month I might work on the summer one, but I'm going to devote 5 days a month to both of those and hope that I can get them both done this year. Oh, and this is in another Patchwork and Poppies bag. She still does the Bag of the Month Club. You can go check out her website. It's called Patchwork and Poppies Haberdashery. The owner is Jenny, and she randomly, like if you follow her on Instagram, she occasionally will do like pre-orders. She'll show you what the bag looks like and you can pre-order it. And she also does the Project Bag of the Month Club, which is really, really nice because not only do you get this gorgeous, well-made bag, but she always attaches this so you can write your project name on it. She always has a cute zipper pull, and a lot of times like she throw in some extra, something extra that she made. Like I think she had floss drops 1 month. There was a cute little strawberry pin cushion 1 month. I don't know, just different cute things that she includes with her bags. So this next one is called Winter. The Winter is Past by Blackbird Designs. I love this pattern. I started this one January 31st of 2024, and I'm stitching it on a 28 count Sand Dollar Lugana by Bestitch Me. And I have not touched this one since earlier in the year, but I really need to get back to it soon because I just love it so much. And here's as far as I've gotten. And let's see, I believe I'm stitching it with all of the called for the DMC. I think it's the DMC conversion. And these were actually some of the floss drops that I got from Jenny in one of her project bag of the month, and with the cute little fox on it. Okay, and then this is another Jenny bag, or Patchwork and Poppies. And another Patchwork and Poppies bag from the Project Bag of the Month Club back in 2023. This next pattern is Birds of a Feather by, it's a Sally Spencer sampler by Birds of a Feather. I started this one on March 3rd of 2024, and I'm stitching it on Catacombs 28 count Catacombs by Bestitch Me. And another one that I don't have a whole lot done on yet, but I really love this fabric. It's so pretty for that. And this one is, I'm using all the called for DMC. The next one is another stitch along that the Black Cat Stitchery, the old owners were hosting, Erica and is it Jan? This was a Market 2024 release, and it's the 12 monthly minis by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I started this on March 24th, and I'm stitching it on a 32 count light taupe Lugana, which is the call for, I believe. And I've only done March and April so far. So I got a lot more to go. But they're pretty quick stitches. You can get them done in maybe 2 days, or I can get them done in maybe 2 days. 2 nights of stitching. Yeah, I definitely need to work on this one more too. And oh, and this is in a bag that I made. Okay, last one, I think. Nope, two more. Two more in this basket. Where are we at? 45 minutes. Okay. This next one is called Rabbit Run by the Prairie Schooler. And I want to stitch the entire sampler, but for now I was just doing, this is kind of an experiment. This is on a 28 count Carolina linen, and it's stuck on my zipper. And I'm stitching this 1/1, which is not something that I've ever done before. So it was, you know, kind of an experiment for me. I finished the bunny. And I don't know, it's not my favorite fabric to stitch on. So, and 1/1 is not easy for me either. So I don't know if I'm going to just stop here and make this into an ornament, or if I'm going to continue on. It's just, you know, I'm going to have to pull it out. It's been a while since I've touched it. I think I only worked on this for a couple of days in March, and then I haven't touched it since, so I need to pull it back out and touch it and try to stitch on it and see what I want to do, if I want to continue on or not. Maybe choose a different fabric, but that's that one. And then the last one in this bucket is the Deadly Aquarium Sal. I'm sure you've all seen this one. A ton of people were doing it. A ton of people finished it. I am nowhere close to being finished. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Polar Lights by Seraphim. And again, I'm not a huge fan of 2 strands on 18 count, which is what I'm doing this on. But this is as far as I've gotten. So I haven't even finished the frame yet. But I do love this fabric, and I do love the pattern. I've seen so many people finish it, and it's just gorgeous. And I would love to be able to finish it someday. Okay, so that is it for that bucket. I'm going to pause and grab the next bucket. Okay, I'm back. So the one from 2023 that I didn't have in the bucket is Red Work Pears. I started this one February 14th, so Valentine's Day in 2023. And I'm stitching it with Santa's Baby by Wicked Stepmother. I'm stitching this on a Mystic fabric, a 32 count pumpkin spice. Gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. I have one pair done and one started. These are just so fun and quick and easy. So why this has been lingering for nearly 2 years, I don't know. But I am going to get them done this year. All right. This next one is from 2024, and it's in this gorgeous bag. It's a Anne of Green Gables bag. I believe this is from Michelle Lee Quilts. Yes, handmade by Michelle Lee Quilts. Gorgeous bag. I used to love watching Anne of Green Gables when I was a kid. The original one with, is it Megan Fellows? So this is a pattern that I received when I was in the Liz Matthews Patreon. This is called Secret Garden. And I believe she had 2 colorways. One was a darker and one was light. I think I'm going with the darker colorway if I remember correctly. This is as far as I've gotten. I'm stitching this on an 18 count fabric by Seraphim in the color Frozen Fractals. So it's really light blue with kind of looks like some clouds in there. And yeah, my flosses are, it's just, these are the flosses. They're not very organized. But I'm pretty sure I'm going with the darker colorway. So that was Secret Garden. That was Hello from Liz Matthews in her April 2024 Patreon. The next one is in this bag from, is this Dot Dot Goose? I'm not sure. Does she have? Oh yes, Dot Dot Goose. Okay. This one is Blue Flower. I absolutely love this pattern called Wild Flowers. I had seen Elizabeth Ann stitch this many years ago, and so I purchased it, and just now finally getting a start on it this year. Well, in 2024, April 30th, 2024. And I'm stitching it on a 20 count Mushroom Light Mocha Ada, and that's as far as I've gotten. It's so pretty. Oh, I love this one. I love stitching on this one. I'm looking forward to pulling this back out in the springtime and getting more stitches in it. I don't know if you can hear that. The trash truck is outside. Okay, my next one is in chicken bag that I made. I love this bag. Such cute fabric. I had a this little chicken charm. I think I found this at an antique shop. So those of you who have been following me probably can guess what's in this one. This is the Funky Chickens by Satsuma Street. This was a Market 2024 release. They are so cute and colorful. I am stitching this along with Allison of Mrs. AZ Family Zoo. She's hosting a stitch along for this. I believe it's called Funky Chicken Sal. And I have not gotten very far. I'm on the hen, which is the biggest one, and that's as far as I've gotten. I don't even know which way is up here. I think it goes like this. Yeah. So she has already finished her hen and fully finished it. She has a tutorial on her channel if you want to go check it out on how to put those together. I haven't watched it yet because I haven't gotten to that point where I need to, you know, put it together. I still have to finish stitching it, but I'm stitching it on a 28 count white Monaco from Charles Craft. So I will be getting back to this one this spring, hopefully at least finishing one of the chickens. Let's see, the next one is Freedom by Tra La La. This is in a Patchwork and Poppies bag, and she's got a cute little tomato that she attached to it. Love this bag. Here is the pattern. Very cute. And I am stitching it on 28 count Bestitch Me Macchiato. And that's where I am. So I just need to finish the lady and stitch the urn that she's standing on, and then I got to do the flowers on the other side and the grass at the bottom in the words. But I'm not going to spell it like that. Freedom. I think that was it had to have been a charting error. Let me see the actual chart. Does it say that on the actual chart? I think it does. I think I remember. Yeah, it says FREDOOM on the actual chart. So I'll just have to stitch it the correct spelling. So then the next one, I have two, actually I have two in this bag. The next one is Patriotic Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I'm stitching this one on the same fabric as the Freedom, so it's 28 count macchiato. And I started this one in June of 2024. And let's see, I think this is the right way. So it's a really fun stitch. I am stitching this with, I'm not sure. I'm probably stitching it with the, it calls for color and cotton, but then she gives you a DMC conversion. So I think that's what I'm using. I don't know. All my flosses are just all kind of just randomly thrown into this bag, so I'm not sure what is what. Oh, never mind. Found some more flosses at the bottom of my bag. And they are the color and cotton called for. So that's what I'm using on Patriotic Quaker. My son, my oldest son, is home from college, and he was going to help me, or I had asked him to help me with these, but he declined, so I was hoping that he would help and it would go a little faster. But, so this is in a bag that I thrifted. It's actually a, it's got like a magnetic closure. It's an envelope bag. I forgot what it was, what it's used for, but I really love this bag. I love how thin it is, so it doesn't take up a lot of space, and there's no zipper for your stuff to get caught in. It's just, it's, I don't know, it's like maybe waterproof, I'm not sure, but I tried to look for more of these bags online and I couldn't find them. But I am stitching Sampler of the Sea by Carriage House Samplings. Absolutely love this pattern, and I think I've got about, yeah, I'm about halfway done. This one is so much fun. I really like this one. This one is 28 count Be Stitch Me Grog. So this one will come out this summer. Hopefully I'll get a finish on it this year, because I am halfway done, so there really isn't, and it's not, it doesn't take a long time to stitch. Okay, the next one is in a Patchwork and Poppies haberdashery bag. Cute little strawberry. This one was a Sal that Chris the Camping Stitcher had started, and I believe Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher had started. It's called In Full Glory by Blackbird Designs. It's in this Sweet Land of Liberty book. And let's see. I believe it's this pattern right up here. Yes. And this is as far as I've gotten. So I completed the house. This was a lot of fun. I'm not normally a house stitcher, but I actually really enjoyed this. And I'm stitching this one on, from 1, 2, 3 stitch. It's a 28 count Ice Blue Lugana. There's no rhyme or reason why I have a Golden Girls Luke's needle miter on there. I guess it was just the only one that was available to me at the time. Here's what the pattern looks like, or will look like when it's done. So I don't know why is my screen so dark. Yeah, I have the flag and the urn and the birds, so still quite a bit of stitching to do, but hopefully I will finish that one this summer. Okay, my next one, so now that's it for the like the summer and patriotic stitching. Now we're moving into Halloween. So this one was started on August 9th. Oh, this was my birthday start in 2024. And this is on in a bag that I made. I love that vintage fabric. I started this one with Carolyn of Caesar Stitch, and I believe it's Kathy of Stitching Past My Bedtime. They are both stitching this one, and it is called Halloween Window by Grill Point de Croix, Le Petit Croix de Lucie. I am stitching this one on a 28 count Lunar Lagana by Bestitch Me, and don't have too much done on this one. It was a center start, so that's as far as I've gotten. So this one is fun. The stitches in the window, there's a lot of like half stitches. Is that what they're called? Half stitches? That's not a full cross. It's just what you do one leg of the stitch. So a lot of that in the middle is just the one leg, and it goes pretty fast. It's just a matter of training your brain to not do the full X. Okay, then let's see. So then the next one, I had 2 birthday starts, like, apparently. So this one is in another bag that I made. This one is an envelope style that Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, she has a tutorial on how to make those. But it's just the yellow inside and the pretty daisies on the outside. And this pattern is called Dreaming of Daisies by Fox and Rabbit, and this was a Market 2024 release. I thought it was so pretty. I am stitching this one on a 20 count Sampler Gold by Color and Cotton. 1 thread over 1 fabric thread. And I love this fabric. It's so pretty. This is as far as I've gotten on that one. So this one again is a lot of fun. Really pretty. Love stitching it. Look forward to getting back to this one in the spring. It looks like I'm using all the called for DMCs for this one. Yeah, the called for is Color and Cotton. I don't have a huge Color and Cotton collection, so I'm using the DMC. I use DMC mostly. If there's a conversion, I will most likely use DMC. Let's see, this one. I got one more before this one. It's just in one of these bags. This one is, probably shouldn't even be here in my WIP pile, but this is Happy Halloween by the Little Stitcher. I got this on Etsy. Love this pattern, and I do want to stitch the entire thing, but I thought that I would just start with one and make them, I would do them individually and make them into ornaments for my tree. So I started on the owl, which is in the bottom right here. So I think this was like one day of stitching, and then I put it away. It's kind of sad. Like, there's not a whole lot of stitching left in that. I need to finish it, but that's that. But this is on a, I don't even have the fabric written down, but I think this is I think this came from one of the craft stores, and it's like a 32 count that I coffee tea dyed. And then the last one in this bucket is in another Garan project bag. This is Nevada on it. My son, my older son, loves bighorn sheep. This one is Serenity. I'm stitching this with my friend Barb, and this was another Market 2024 release. I am stitching this one on, I think it's a 20 count, yeah, it's a 20 count Atomic Ranch. I didn't write the color down though. I don't have a whole lot of progress on this one. Oh, it's Mellow Stone, 20 count. I purchased this when I was at Stitch New England over the summer. I was visiting my family, and my sister and I did a little shopping. So this is as far as I have gotten on this one. Not very far. I think I only stitched on this a couple days. So I just got to start on the border. It's a big one. It's going to take a long time. This one probably will not be done next year, but I will definitely work on it and make more progress on it. These are all of the called for colors. Mostly DMCs, and there's a couple of classic color works in there. So very pretty. I think also the Sarahs are stitching on this one, and I think they have a hashtag for it. I don't know what it is. And they are a lot further along. It's Stitchy, Sarah Stitchery and Handmade by Sarah W. If you want to check out their channels to see their progress. They also do a monthly video together where they share all the things that they're working on together, and that is one of them. Okay, so that's, I have one more basket of WIPs. I think there's maybe only 7 WIPs in that one, so I will go grab it and be right back. Okay, is it recording? Yes. Okay, so the next one is Girl, well, I couldn't find a name for this one. I purchased this one on Etsy it's by Tidy Patterns, T-I-D-Y. There was no name for it, so I'm just calling it Girl Pulling Wagon. I really, really love this pattern. These are all of the called for colors. Very pretty. I am stitching this one on a 28 count Vanilla Latte Lugana by Bestitch Me. And I had seen someone on Instagram finish this one. What she had done was she stitched all of the outline first, all of the black outline, and then she filled it in with all of the fun colors. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have just the start of the girl and her hair, and then all of these are going to be filled in with different fun colors. So I really, really enjoyed this one. It's a lot of fun, and it's beautiful. I really like it. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that one also. I need more time. It's never enough time to do all the stitching that we want to do, right? Okay, this next one is called We Give Thanks by Calico Confectionery. I started this one November 15th of this year, and I'm stitching it on a 14 count Store Ada that I coffee tea dyed myself. And this is as far as I've gotten on this one. I think I mentioned when I shared this a few months ago, I don't like the eyes, so I need to redo the eyes on her, but okay. Okay, the next one is Winter Folk, and it's in a bag that I made. I love this bag. I've been showing this one, I think, my last couple of videos because I just started it in November, and I've been stitching on it a lot. I wasn't going to pull it back out, but then here's the pattern. I saw that she came out with the Christmas one at Jingle Ball, which I purchased, and so I want to finish this one before I start the Christmas one. And I'm stitching this on a 32 count Lugana by Be Stitch Me called Not Another Sampler, and this is as far as I've gotten. So I'm more than halfway. I really enjoy this one. It's a lot of fun to stitch, and there's a lot of specialty stitches in it, which kind of intimidated me, but her diagrams in the chart are like spot on. I mean, they're very easy to follow. So I have not had any problems at all with doing the specialty stitches on that one. And I do have the Christmas one, and I also have the autumn one that I'm going to stitch eventually. The next one is, and I'm sure you've seen this one everywhere too. This was a Jingle Ball release from, or it was a class from the Tiny Modernist called the Gingerbread House. I attended the class, and actually I need to rewatch that. I'm not sure. I think that might expire. The video was supposed to be available for 30 days. It might expire this weekend, so I need to try to rewatch that. I am nowhere near being finished with the stitching. That's as far as I've gotten. I'm not even done with the front of the house yet, but I do want to rewatch the videos so that when I do finish stitching it, I will be ready to fully finish it. I don't know if that video is ever going to be released outside of the Jingle Ball, so I need to watch it so I know what I'm doing. This next one is Jingle Jolly Joy. I recently started this one on December 2nd. This is by Luminous Fiber Arts, and I have finished the first one on that pattern, so the deer. And this is on Be Stitch Me Honey 28 count Lugana. Whoops. Very pretty fabric. I love the color of this fabric, and it's you know, I think it's matches pretty well to the fabric in the photo. So I just have those, the last two to go, the Santa and the snowman. I probably won't pull this one out again until later in the year. It's just in one of these generic bags. My next one is in my Penny and Tunny bag. This one is Grandma's Christmas 3. Oh, Christmas at Grandma's by Little Robin Designs. I shared this in my last Flosstube. It was actually, I had not finished the Santa, but since my last Flosstube I have finished the Santa. And it's still in my WIPs because I want to do the Mrs. Claus probably next year. Okay, I have two more. These have not, you have not seen, if you've been following me, you have not seen these before because these have been new starts since my last Flosstube video. But this first one is called Reindeer Roundup by the Prairie Schooler. I purchased this pattern years ago, 3-4 years ago, and with the fabric. And every year I kept saying, I'm going to start it, I'm going to start it, and I just did not get around to it. So this year I finally started it. This is on Picture This Plus Fog. It's a 16 count Ada. And I'm doing 2/1 on this. Not my favorite to do 2/1 on 16 count, a little tight, but you know, it hasn't been too bad on this fabric. So I stitched on this probably for 5 days, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't want to stop, but that was my Christmas Day start. And then I wanted to get in one more start for the year. I started this on my younger son's birthday. It wasn't on purpose. I mean, well, I had asked him, like, I know he loves squid, and I stitched him 2 squid pieces already. So I was like, well, what is your second favorite animal? And he didn't know, so, because I would have stitched that for him, but he didn't know. So I just stitched something that I had been wanting to stitch. This is in the 2024 calendar by Craftways, I believe. And I'm stitching the December pattern, which is this one right here by Karen Kluba. It's called Festive Sampler. I think it is so cute. I actually found a hanger for it. I haven't purchased it yet, but I found a hanger that I think will work really well with it. Let's see. So I'm stitching this on a mystery fabric. This is where I am. This is a fabric that I had purchased several years ago. I had gotten like a lot of random pieces of fabric from an antique store. Some of them had labels on them, some of them didn't. This one did not. But I think it's a 28 or a 32 count linen. And it was the perfect size because I want to finish it into a banner like they have it in the photo. So it was a nice long skinny piece that worked perfectly for this. So this is another one. It was a lot of fun to stitch on. And I look forward to getting back to that one at some point. I'm not looking forward to all of those, like, look at all the snowflakes. Tons of little snowflakes in there. Not looking forward to doing that, but the rest of it is fun. So that was my last new start for 2024. Those are all of my all of the WIPs that I'm taking with me into 2025. So there's like 40-ish, something like that. Yeah, so I hope that you all enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too chaotic. I kind of feel like I was a little chaotic. It was going through it really fast. I'm on a lunch break from work. This is an hour and 18 minutes, so it's not too bad, but I actually thought it was going to be closer to an hour and a half. Yeah, so if you liked what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing the video. If you're interested in seeing how all of my WIPs progress through 2025, you can subscribe, and if you hit the little notification bell, you'll get notified whenever I upload another video. I am hoping to do another one here very soon, like a regular Flosstube update. I have quite a few FFOs that I've done recently that I'd like to share, and you know, my WIPs, and I have a couple of 2025 starts. I didn't share them today because you know, they're 2025 WIPs, and this is basically everything that I ended 2024 with and carrying into 2025. So I'll share those in the next video. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.